You're listening to The Safari Zone, a member of the But Why Though podcast community. If you want to find out more, go to butwhythoughpodcast.com. What's up, trainers,
breeders,
contest coordinators,
and everything in between?
To episode number I don't know of the Safari Zone podcast. I forgot to
15?
check before. It's 15?
15?
14? 15? I'm sure someone will correct us.
We'll find out when we post it.
So, apparently it is a rare occurrence to get all three members of the Safari Zone podcast in the same room. Unfortunately, Maggie's not here this week, so it's just me and Peter. Say hi to Peter. Say hi, Peter. Not say hi to Peter. If you guys don't know,
guys.
The Safari Zone is a Pokemon podcast that talks about anything and everything Pokemon related. My name is Professor Ash, and I'm the Pokemon professor for this little podcast, and I'm joined by
Peter the Dragon Master.
Yep. And I think that's it for the intros. We're also joined live in studio, even though we're totally not live, by the show's resident Houndoom, Wedge. Say hi, Wedge. I was kind of hoping he would bark. He's looking at us like he's very confused.
He's got like the squinted eyes like, you're stupid if you think I'm actually going to say something now.
Like, why did you take me from the pound? Why couldn't it have been anybody else? Anyway.
Ouch.
If you guys don't know, I have a Doberman Pinscher who looks a lot like a Houndoom, so he's the show's resident Houndoom. His name is Wedge. He's amazing. Follow me on Twitter if you want, like, exclusively pictures of Wedge, because that's pretty much all I post.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about probably the biggest thing that happened to Pokemon in a very long time today.
Weird occurrences on Pokemon Go, and a stupid video that occurred afterwards.
Yeah, so if you guys don't play Go or are living under a rock, a mysterious Pokemon started showing up on Saturday.
Or at least it appeared to.
It appeared to, and it was very weird. And
Weird
people
looking.
I thought it was a mistake. I thought they released it early. I thought that like Niantic really dropped the ball. That is not in fact what happened at all. They released a new Pokemon in probably the weirdest way that I could think of by releasing it in Go and just having it out in the wild and offering no explanation for anything.
For like a whole, I think it was about 4 days. I think it's been going for...
No, it's Saturday, so today's 2... Yeah, no, you're right.
4 days?
4 days, yeah.
Wow, I'm actually surprised I got that number right. But yeah, it was weird. If any of you guys had noticed it, it's also still somewhat appearing every once in a while. If you've been able to find it in the last 2 days.
Well, there was for a couple days, it was just appearing everywhere. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, they released this new Pokemon named Meltan. And Meltan is a mythical Pokemon, and I guess it started showing up in Go, and the reason I thought it was a mistake is because it didn't have a name.
No name, no combat power, and if you are able to catch it, it just immediately turns into a Ditto, which is one of the reasons why it was just so confusing. Because you're like, okay, did they mess up on the programming? Is it supposed to be...
Was it supposed to be released later and somebody just dropped the ball?
Yeah, my first thought was, okay, this is a really weird way to have like a skeleton for the animation of some of these Pokemon, but it didn't make sense to me because it was so small.
Well, you texted me and you were like, turn on Go, something's happening in my game. And this is already hours after I knew what was going on. And because I'm on Twitter, I guess.
And tell me if I'm wrong or not. Has this happened before? Because I feel like something like this has happened.
They've never released a new Pokemon.
No,
like this.
they haven't done. Well, they haven't done this, but I feel like I remember seeing this Pokemon just a long time ago, and no one said anything. At least not that I noticed.
It's weird. I don't know. Its name is Meltan.
It's an interesting looking Pokemon.
It's weird looking, man. It is the Hex... Oh, let me get this right.
Hex Nut.
It is the Hex Nut Pokemon. It is a Steel type.
Go figure.
And it is a mythical Pokemon, which means it's in the same category as, say... Celebi, Mew...
Victini, Jirachi.
Yeah, I think Jirachi's a legendary. Jirachi's... I never can figure out what the heck is the difference between a mythical and a legendary.
It's always the little feminine one.
I think, actually, the difference is legendaries are obtainable in-game, and mythicals are only obtainable through special events. I think that's it. Correct me if I'm wrong. If somebody knows the difference, please tweet at us at SafariZonePod. But this was like weird, man. And this thing is one of the weirdest looking Pokemon I've ever seen. It's not quite in the categories like the ice cream cone or the trash bag in terms of like interesting design inspiration, but the Hexnut Pokemon, I'm gonna be curious to see because mythical Pokemon tend to have, believe it or not, a myth behind them, some kind of legend or myth or whatever.
And I believe Mew is the only one that has anything to do with real creation, in my understanding.
No, I guess Arceus not mythical, but
that would be a legendary.
Yeah, Mew is not necessarily like the creator of Pokemon. It's established that Mew is the ancestor of Pokemon. Have you actually heard the theory about Ditto and Mew?
Yes, that Ditto is just a failed version of Mew.
Yeah, it's a failed attempt to clone Mew. Because they both know Transform, and they're one of the only Pokemon that I think they're the only Pokemon who can learn Transform, and all this stuff.
I feel like there's another one that knows Transform, but I don't remember which one.
Well, it's Zoroark doesn't have Transform, but it has something kind of similar. Where if you put it out, it takes the form of the last Pokemon in your party. I can't remember what its ability is called, but it's not the same as Transform because you still have Transform gives you all of their moves, and copies every stat except HP.
I feel like there's still another one, but I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, I can't remember either. Yeah, I think it was a very interesting way to go about doing this. We're living in the internet age, and Nintendo has notoriously been behind the curve when it comes to, like, why can't I have native voice chat on Switch? Also, for those of you who have a Switch and are currently dealing with the nightmare that is Nintendo Switch Online right now, God bless you, because I'm doing it too. I tried to play Rocket League, and it was near impossible.
I've just kind of given up when it comes to most of the online stuff. I'll wait for Brawl to come out.
Brawl? You mean Smash?
Yeah, well, I've just been thinking about it as Brawl for a while.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Which, actually, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, we might be doing some Pokemon Smash-related streaming or videos in the future. So keep an eye out for that. Where Peter will...
If and when we can get a hand on it, after it releases, of course, we'll try and see what we can do about having some fun and showing you guys how much I can beat their butts.
Peter's pretty good at Smash.
I'm not professional.
I'm terrible at Smash.
I just have decent instincts when it comes to a lot of games.
The only video game I'm good at exactly 2 video games. Pokemon and Galaga. That's it. So yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting, given how Nintendo is notoriously behind the curve when it comes to using the internet and the viral marketing stuff. This was a pretty interesting way to go about doing it. I like that they kind of integrated Go. I like that they kind of didn't... I was kind of ticked off when I found out that it was an orchestrated thing. But I got over that fairly quick. I think it was an interesting way to go about releasing new Pokemon, as opposed to like
interesting way.
Your typical video, like YouTube video that they release in like a Nintendo Direct or something, where it's like, here's a new Pokemon.
Way to go, Pokemon, for being able to do this without previous leakage.
Yeah, the fact that they were able to execute this without anybody... Well, that's not entirely true. Data miners found it like a couple of days before, I believe. Which is why I didn't believe it until I saw it and Go. I was like, that's not real.
But still, only a few days is still decent for Pokemon, because they've had like leaks like months out.
Yeah, no, that's pretty... It's pretty impressive, especially considering like the last time... you probably don't remember this, but when Sun and Moon came out, there was a bunch of fake leaks.
Oh yeah,
like there was that
many.
Water type that looked like a platypus that we all thought was real.
Yeah.
And I was very disappointed to learn that it wasn't real.
Yeah, you can still find leftovers of all the fake starters and fake games that were coming out on YouTube.
Pokemon
and such.
Stars was the most recent one I can think of that turned into Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Future and Past were one of the ones that I thought was hilarious. It's on YouTube. They're completely fake, but for a second I thought they were real, and I wish the Pokemon were real because it's actually very entertaining.
Well, yeah, there's a bunch of one of these days we'll get around to playing some Pokemon ROM hacks and stuff because I find that stuff really interesting, like fan-made games.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, 95% of the stuff I generally don't believe anything that gets out into the world unless it comes from an official Nintendo source.
Yeah, until I see it on Pokemon.com or
it's not official unless it's on Pokemon.com.
Basically. It's a weird looking Pokemon, am I right?
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is a weird looking sucker. And I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it.
Well, with the last time that they had another type of mythical,
Well, the
that
last one was Zeraora, which was the electric tiger.
that's a mythical?
Yes. I don't think it's been released yet, actually, unless I totally missed it.
I don't think that was the mythical.
No, yes, Zeraora was the most recent mythical. Is the most recent mythical one.
So wait, describe this one again.
Zeraora, I'll look up a picture. It's an electric tiger.
I just thought that was another Ultra Beast.
No.
It's that tall one, right? It looks like
What?
a walking tiger.
Yes?
But it's like blue and yellow.
Yes?
I thought that was an Ultra Beast.
No. This one?
Yeah.
Not an Ultra Beast. Mythical.
Huh.
It's gonna be. It's either got released or it's gonna be released
I
through an
think
event.
it was released during an event a few months ago.
I don't think it's out yet, unless I totally missed it, which is totally possible.
Pretty
Actually,
sure
I have a fun
missed
story
it.
about that. It right now, actually, I think by the time this episode comes out, go get your your shiny poi poles at GameStop. I actually got incredibly lucky with my shiny poi pole. And it had a modest nature. For those of you who play competitive, you'll know that's a pretty good nature for a poi pole. So I can actually use the thing. I'm actually pretty excited about that. So I have a usable shiny event poi pole. I never get useful event Pokemon ever.
Poiple?
Boy, watch the anime.
Yeah, I need to. I haven't gotten past the wedding.
Poi pole is an Ultra Beast, and it's an Ultra Beast exclusive to Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Okay, yeah, I definitely need to finish.
And it
the
evolves
anime.
into Naganadel. I think the other exclusive Ultra Beast is Bucephalon, which looks like the barber's pole with the head, the head.
Yeah.
Do you know what my favorite Ultra Beast is, actually?
Which one?
Stakataka. Just because it's so stupid. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think
the literal
so.
castle one?
Yes. Yeah, that one actually looks entertaining. I like the look of it. Yeah.
It makes me just want to say its name like that. Anyway, getting off of the Ultra Beast thing. I think this was a pretty cool way to release it, I think.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting way to release it, but this is definitely, I think, the weirdest looking mythical Pokemon that they've released. But if it's something kind of like Hoopa, it might have a secondary form. If I'm remembering Hoopa correctly, that it had like something extra that it could go into.
Hoopa had two forms. I never got Hoopa, so I don't know.
Yeah, neither do I. I just remember
that was when I wasn't getting event Pokemon.
I just remember there was something going on the movie. And
yeah, there's two forms.
If
of
and
Hoopa.
when we are forced to watch this movie, we're
gonna get to it eventually.
Yeah.
There's also a movie coming out this November in theaters that I'm assuming that we'll all go to at some point.
Likely, as long as it's nothing like I Choose You.
Who knows? Who knows, man? It's the same kind of thing where it's
no.
like it's completely different characters except for Ash. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that right now. So according to the press release, it appears that the key to meeting Meltan in Pokemon Let's Go is Pokemon Go. We don't know what that is yet, but you're going to need to use Pokemon Go to get your Meltan into Pokemon Let's Go. At least that's what it seems like. This is probably the only new Pokemon we're going to see with Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, which I'm fine with.
Possibly. They might try and do something else. But they already have a lot of other stuff going on, so it's possible this will be the only thing.
Yeah. It seems Meltan... Oh, shoot. Never mind. It seems Meltan is only available in Let's Go rather than Pokemon Go. Although, we don't know. So I'm getting kind of conflicting information from this article.
It's been out for 4 days, so we don't fully know. We just know that it's
we know it's the
half
Hex
appeared.
Nut Pokemon. It's a Steel type, and the key to getting it is in Let's Go and Go. Some kind of integration with that. It's probably. I'm gonna be curious to see if this is classified as a Generation 7 Pokemon or Generation 8. I don't think it's an 8. I don't, because it's not coming out for Generation 8. It's coming out. We're arguably still in Generation 7.
Yeah, but I don't know why he would be going towards Oak then.
Well, so this is a very weird thing to classify it or to try to classify this Pokemon because we don't have any information on it. I think it's I think we're arguably still in Generation 7. Because a new generation hasn't come out yet. Because Let's Go is not a new generation. It's just a spin-off game.
True.
So I think that we're still in Generation 7, and that Meltana will be classified as a Generation 7 Pokemon, or it'll be in a nebulous gray area. I mean, we know stuff like Zeraora. Zeraora is a Generation 7 Pokemon because it's in the Gen 7 Dex.
True.
Meltan isn't, so it's gonna be interesting to see. It's gonna be interesting to see if Meltan is only obtainable in Let's Go.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna be able to catch it in any other game, and maybe the only way to get it is through like Pokemon Bank transfer or whatever.
We don't know.
We don't know. So it's gonna be interesting to see, nonetheless. I think.
True. All right, can we make fun of their decisions on that video?
That was so stupid.
It's the weirdest.
We found out
thing.
all this information on the trailer today.
I enjoyed Oak, but it was still just like, okay, Oak, you're laying it on a little bit thick here. The
voice was weird. It didn't sound like Oak in the anime, and that's what threw me off. I was like, and then it got me thinking. I'm like, oh god, is there gonna be voice acting in Let's Go? Because they did it with Breath of the Wild.
I think there is.
They did it with Breath of the Wild.
I think there is. They even brought James and Jesse, and they have Misty and Brock.
And Misty and Brock are coming back to the anime. No, I don't think there's voice acting. We haven't had any confirmation of that. But I didn't think there'd be voice acting in a Zelda game ever, and I was proven wrong because in Breath of the Wild there's voice acting. It's bad voice acting. This game feels so out of place in a Pokemon game. Gosh.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
But as they jump to higher definition consoles, it's probably going to be something that they can't really avoid anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
But that means recording dialogue for every trainer interaction.
Maybe.
Or maybe not. I guess Kingdom Hearts has cutscenes and then text. Like when you go. I don't know if you ever played Kingdom Hearts.
A little bit.
So they might do
My wife has asked for help on that. You have asked for help on that.
No, I've never asked for help on I've beaten Kingdom Hearts at least 3 times at this point. Don't drag me under the bus.
You were both asking me for help.
Don't drag me under the bus like this.
You both asked me for help.
No, I've played
You both couldn't figure it out.
No.
I got there within 5 minutes. I figured out that level inside the arena with Hercules and Phil.
We're gonna move on because this is slander. This is libel. Maybe okay. I don't know how much time do we have. How much time have we been going on about this?
Not even 20 minutes.
Really? I figured maybe we could spend the rest of this episode just kind of talking about Let's Go. We didn't really plan this. We kind of last minute found out Maggie wasn't going to be here. And we're not very great at the planning in general. At all. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about its design. Which I know we kind of briefly touched on.
Yeah, but
it's people are trying to convince me that it's cute, but I think it's an ugly son of a gun. Like
that's why I think it's going to have a secondary form.
That's why I'm waiting for the myth behind the mythical Pokemon. I guess.
I want to. Yeah, I'm very curious as to how they're going to make a myth out of this because anything that's like a steel
it's obviously tied to Ditto in some form or fashion.
Maybe.
And Ditto is kind of like pseudo confirmed to kind of be like a lab accident gone wrong.
True. It's basically been confirmed over the years. It's been like half confirmed, I think.
Yeah,
it's like they haven't like straight up said it, but they've hinted and people have asked and they have like not denied it and or really liked that idea and just gone with it.
Yeah, I think if it was an accident, happy accident, take it. If it was intentional, you did your job.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I don't know. It's obviously tied to Ditto in some way because the Ditto were transforming into Meltan. So I don't know though. Yeah.
But the last time that they had something that was like a mythical Pokemon that was a Steel type was Magearna, which had a very interesting.
I completely forgot about Magearna.
I don't blame you.
Because you said mythical Steel type, and my brain went to Jirachi.
True. I keep forgetting that she's a Steel type.
Yeah, she. It's genderless, but
it looks like a she.
I think it has.
It even sounds like a she when it's talking to Max.
Well, like you probably wouldn't call Shaman is genderless too, and Shaman Gen.
Shaman seems like a girl when it's in its land form, sky form. Still kind of can seem like a girl, but has like no, kind of still just seems like a girl to me. It just kind of goes from like the soft, gentle princess to the warrior princess, basically. That's how my mind goes for it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But Magirna has like a whole weird legend behind it.
So freaking weird, man.
I liked the movie. I only like the movie because it like glorifies Tesla, and I love Tesla. Tesla is the underdog of everything.
He was also like
engineering.
insane, but we'll just ignore that.
Yeah, but
it's called If you're curious about the Magirna movie, it's called Volcanion and the Mechanical Marvel.
Yeah,
and it's not very good.
It's not that great, but it's not. I don't think it's the
falls
worst
symptom
either.
to what I like to call X and Y movie-itis.
Yes.
Where all of the movies in the X and Y era are just trash. They're terrible.
I don't think it's as bad as The Sword of Justice.
That's a 5th gen one, right? Yes.
I think
Keldeo
so.
and the Sword of... Yeah, no, that... Basically, at and around Gen 4, because I will still argue that the Arceus movie isn't that good, they just made bad movie after bad movie after bad movie after bad movie. Then they made I Choose You, and it was like, stop.
No.
So hopefully, oh gosh. I don't even know what the new one is called. Pokemon. The new one that's coming out this year.
I haven't seen a translated version.
It was called Everyone's Story. I think it's called Everyone's Story.
I haven't seen the translated version.
I have no idea.
Because sometimes
actually,
they have like a
when I
different...
was researching it the other day, it actually seemed like it got fairly decent reviews. So maybe.
Oh,
because it came out in July in Japan.
Yeah.
And it's coming out in November here. Yeah, it totally got off the track of Meltan. I think it's
normally do.
Yeah,
but I'm curious as to how they're going to make a legend off of this because of with Magirna, it was a creation of a human.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even fully that wasn't the mythical Pokemon of that generation, was it? I forget.
It was, I think Magirna's Gen 7.
Who's X and Y?
I think it's in the Sun and Moon decks. For Gen 6, the mythicals were Hoopa, Diancie, and Volcanion, I think.
That was a legendary.
No, Volcanion's a mythical.
I put it on the same level as Heatran.
Heatran is also a mythical.
Don't feel like they're mythical though. They don't
they're
line
not,
up with it.
They're. I don't know what it is.
I need to do more research on what's a mythical, what's a legendary, and what they.
I'm gonna Google it right now because I'm just morbidly curious.
Because it looks like Meltan looks like you took a Ditto and it swallowed a hex bolt and it turned into Mercury and kept the hex
Volcanion
bolt.
is a mythical, by the way.
It is mythical?
Yeah. I don't know if Heatran is.
Probably would be.
Because... Yeah.
Yeah, all the legendary and mythical ones are really weird when it comes to what they are and how...
Heatran is a legendary because it is obtainable in-game. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Cresselia as well. Darkrai as well.
Do you want to know something funny? I was going through the Pokemon Bank a couple days ago, and I was going through all my old Pokemon from like Gen 4, Gen 5, and I found my Heatran. Guess what I named it?
What?
Beef Stew.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me that.
And the Heatran I captured in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire's name is Barbara. Take that as you will. I have no idea why.
Sorry, the first thing that comes to my mind is Barbara Manatee.
The 5 Christian kids who listen to this podcast, ears, they're just perked up and they were like, VeggieTales? He mentioned VeggieTales?
Not just VeggieTales, the weirdest, silly song there ever was.
I think I Don't Got a Belly Button is weirder than Barbara Manatee.
Larry is watching a soap opera.
People have no idea what we're gonna have to get off this VeggieTales side tangent.
That's what a podcast is tangents. That's why it's entertaining. That's
Some
what I
people
signed up for.
Some people would disagree with you, sir. I'm fine with tangents as long as they're Pokemon related, not when we're talking about anthropomorphic cucumbers singing about manatees. So let's
Eat your vegetables.
Oh my god. This is kind of I figured we would have a lot more to say about Meltan, but apparently we don't. So let's just talk
Because it's just
in
new.
the spirit of Meltan. Let's talk about some of our like favorite mythical Pokemon.
Celebi. Because it just had the better movie, it had a really good legends behind it, and it just looks adorable, and it like, oh my gosh, it's one of the few Pokemon that freaking die. Spoiler alert.
Do you know that Twitch right now is live streaming Pokemon stuff? They're live streaming on the episodes. Do you know that they didn't stream Pokemon Forever because Celebi dies in it? Fun fact.
Oh, they're gonna have a heyday when they get to Sun and Moon.
Yeah. Let's not talk about Stoutland, please.
Again, spoilers.
Or I Choose You, where Marshadow like legit
no, we're not talking about.
Legit
We're not
kills
talking.
Ash.
No, I don't. We ignore. I shun I Choose You as like it was.
I'm making that the
Last
next Safari
Airbender.
Zone movie month.
Aragon. It is on the list of horrible movies based on something that was horribly done.
Did you know, we're side tangenting again, but it's still in the nerdy space. Do you know they're making a live action Avatar: Last Airbender Netflix series?
Yes, and I'm excited because it's being made by the original creators.
Yeah, okay.
And with Nickelodeon.
Yeah, okay. So we're gonna have to get off of that.
So anyway, Mythical.
Why
what
don't
was
we
your
have
favorite?
Why don't we have a Last Airbender podcast?
Because we've been too busy with this one, and we're too tired afterwards.
That's a good point. My favorite mythical is Mew.
The kind of go-to. It is one of the. It's like honestly like the most adorable thing because it just seems super serious.
Yeah,
But it's just so adorable.
Yeah, no, I think Mew's pretty cute, and every appearance I've seen with Mew, I think they've done it pretty well.
Oh,
especially the first movie, and then Lucario and the Mystery Mew, and
Perfectly
when Mew popped up
childish.
in, I liked when it popped up in Sun and Moon, where
Mhm.
Rotom was like, "I have all but one Pokemon," and then Mew's behind the tree like, and it flies away. Man, something else we can talk about because did you hear the news that Brock and Misty are coming back?
Yes, you might have mentioned this at least 3 times to me today.
I'm doing a segue for the podcast so we could find something else to talk about. How do you feel? I think everybody who listens to this podcast is aware of how I feel about Brock and Misty. How do you feel about Brock and Misty coming back?
I'm about as excited and happy as I was when I saw that they had come back after the second season of or first season of Sun and Moon.
Yeah, it was the finale of the first season.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm stupid excited about this. I kind of there was a very this is very funny because the day before the news leaked, I was sitting and I was thinking about Pokemon. I was watching the Twitch Presents Pokemon thing, and I was thinking about Brock and Misty. I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if like they tied into Let's Go Brock and Misty? Like Brock and Misty came back for a season, or maybe they're like the Alola gang hangs out on Kanto for a season, and like
Again.
Brock and like, but for a whole season, you know, like they do like a foreign exchange something. And literally the next day, they were like, "Here's a poster. Brock and Misty are coming back." I was like, "Yes, yes, man, I'm excited." I think this definitively proves that Misty is the best traveling companion. Misty and Brock are
Brock
best.
is definitely the best because he was better than Tracy. Wasn't being held down by a younger sibling, and wasn't a Pokemon connoisseur. So he's just kind of the best. He was actually knowledgeable. He doesn't seem like he's trying to learn. He's the responsible adult.
He's just there for the ride.
Yeah.
He's a responsible adult at 14. God bless Brock.
Still looks 18. Acts like he's 18. Acts like he's 30, actually.
He does act like a 14-year-old boy in terms to how he interacts with women, so...
Except he always seems to be hitting on the women who, if he is 14, are a lot older than him.
Yep. We're just gonna choose to ignore that little tidbit about the Pokemon universe.
Again, I just treat him like he's 18 and he's hitting on everyone who's older than 18.
Yeah.
This just kind of seems how it is.
That headcanon is 100% valid. No, I'm excited about the new. If you don't know what we're talking about, they released a poster showing off that we're gonna get How in season 2. We're also gonna get some kind of Eevee. Have you seen this poster?
Yes,
With the
it
little,
has
it's got
the
like
little.
fringe in front of its eyes.
It's not even a fringe. It's weird curled bangs or something. It kind of looks like you threw Vulpix's hair on top of an Eevee.
But you didn't brush Vulpix's hair. So you just let let the hair get in the eyes. It looks like a Shetland sheepdog kind of dog.
Yes.
I like it. I like the design a lot, and I'm gonna be curious to see who's Eevee. Do you think Ash is gonna catch an Eevee?
If they do, that would be the best way they can do. They could then introduce a new evolution in the next generation.
I don't think they're gonna do. I'm thinking for Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, you have Ash catch that little Eevee, and then that little Eevee has to like Greninja himself at the end of the season.
No, because it's gonna do like what they did with Apom.
Where he traded it?
No, where he at least brings it with him, and it because
whose Pokemon was Apom?
Apom was Ash's. He caught it when he was still with, I think it was May and Brock and Max when they were on the Battle Frontier.
Oh, okay. But then Apom followed him too.
Apom followed him onto the ship when he was heading to Sinnoh. And then about halfway through the season, him and Dawn trade Apom for Weasel.
Because Weasel liked battles.
And Apom liked contests. Of course, we kind of all saw that coming because that's when Apom chilled the heck out, was during May's contest. Which I'm surprised Apom did not have even more of a "I remember you" when they all met for the contest Wallace Cup.
Yeah. May comes back in we're talking about May coming back for the Diamond and Pearl series, by the way. I realize that we talk about this stuff and some people genuinely have no idea what we're talking about because we just kind of go all over the place. No, I think they're gonna, like, that Eevee is gonna be somebody's.
It's gonna be someone's, and if it's Ash's, I think it would be a good move.
Maybe it'll be Misty's. Though Misty's got enough. You know what I want to see?
We still have like too much heartbreak from Togetic. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know what I want to see? Misty. I want to see Misty having a Zoom roll.
No, because that would be Tracy's.
No, but Misty has the Azurill.
Does she?
Yes.
I thought that was Tracy's.
Misty has the Azurill when she comes back after the Togepi episode.
Oh.
No, that's Misty's. Unless I'm mistaken. I could be wrong.
I remember Tracy
anyway,
having
I want
a Meryl.
I want Misty to have like some super strong Pokemon. She already does.
She has Gyarados.
Yeah, I mean she has Gyarados, but that's pretty much it. She's got Psyduck. She's got Staryu. She's got Staryu and Starmie.
I think it's a Starmie now.
No, she's got both. She's got a Staryu and a Starmie.
Goldeen.
Or
is it a Seeking now?
Might be a Seeking.
But if that would be another way that they can introduce a good, strong water type.
Yeah. Gosh.
So if they're going Alolan,
Seeking.
Please no, we're not.
If anybody deserves a mega, it's Seeking. No, I think it's gonna be fun. I don't know if Brock and Misty are gonna be there for an episode or if they're gonna be there for the whole season. I really hope they're there for a good chunk of the episodes. And I think it'll be cool to see them interact. I think Misty and Lana, we saw from the last, will be like, last episode, they'll be fast friends.
I want more interactions.
Brock and Kiawe will probably get along pretty well.
Hella well.
What was that?
Hella well.
You were about to curse and you caught yourself. Is that what you were? Is that what was happening? Hella well.
Hell. Well.
Very
Very well. That is basically what I'm saying. Just with the emphasis, and the more I describe it, the more it seems the opposite of what I'm trying to say. Because English.
I'm 100% cutting this out of the show. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, I think it'll be really cool. I want to see more interactions with like the OG crew and the Alola crew.
Again, I still just want all of the girls who obviously had at least a small thing for Ash to meet on the same episode. And them all to be coming from like a different direction at the Pokemon Center They hadn't
It'll
met
be like
each
that
other
episode
yet.
with Brock and Silent, where like neither of them had any idea that one had traveled with Ash.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or, well, every time they ever saw anyone else. And then Ash was like, oh, hey, it's you!
May bumps into Misty. Well, May knows Misty, and we're like, "Hey, Misty!" And then Serena just comes out of nowhere, like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then walks away. And then Dawn. Well, Dawn never met Misty either. Dawn knew Misty because of the.
No, Dawn knew Misty.
No.
Wallace cut.
Dawn wasn't there, or Misty wasn't there. May was there.
Oh, right. No. Oh, right, Misty. Wow.
We have Dawn walk out and be like, "Aren't you the guy on Ash's fishing lure?" If you guys don't know, Misty gave Ash this fishing lure, and it comes up in Diamond and Pearl.
Yes! That will be... Wait. I've seen you before. Why am I thinking fish?
Misty's like, "Excuse me?"
Oh, don't worry. You got it. And then gives the whole, like, peace sign thing. And they're like, that's the lure!
I just need some fan fiction nonsense in my life with this. You know,
I just want Serena to be like walking in, and then Dawn or Misty or May just come out of nowhere and get like, oh gosh, Ash, and then give him a flying hug, and then Serena is just like freezes,
and then
gets
Iris
the little temperature. No, no.
And then Iris comes in like, I'm just gonna walk away from whatever's happening here.
How about we just keep Iris out?
No, I'm saying Iris.
If anything,
where the heck is this episode gone? I'm saying Iris walks in, sees the commotion, and is like, "Hey, Silent, let's go back to Unova," and then takes a few steps back, and then just leaves the Pokemon Center.
No, because then she'd be like, "Oh crap, Silent, don't." The smells!
And then he grabs Ash and Misty, or Ash and Serena, and he's like, "The bond between you two."
Well,
it's spicy and fiery. It makes a beautiful dish, or something.
And then you just have basically, it's most likely going to turn into Misty and Serena playing tug-of-war with Ash. I'm sorry, this is probably also from a lot of my past anime
The people
experience.
who like the video game or Go have officially checked out of this podcast right now.
Don't go. Yes, that's...
Name in the jar, which is now a name on the whiteboard because I lost the jar.
You should just write the names and then write tally marks.
Hey. You're smarter than me. Anyway. No, okay. What the heck is this Meltan. I keep wanting to call it Meltran, which is...
Or something.
Which is not correct.
No. It doesn't quite fit, but it definitely looks like it's melted in a weird way.
Well, I can hardly remember the names of new Pokemon until I actually start using them.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. I was talking to someone the other day, and I was like, "What is the horse from Generation 7?" And they were like, it took me 5 minutes to, and then I screamed over Skype, "Mudsdale!"
That's not a deer. That's
horse.
I'm thinking deer.
What?
Wow, I'm sorry. Ignore me.
What is happening?
What was the other one? Mudsdale and...
Mudbray.
Mudbray.
Which is a donkey.
Mudbray looks really weird.
It's
I like
donkey.
Mudsdale, though. I like Mudsdale.
I wish Mudsdale was better than it actually is. Best Gen 7 Pokemon is Mimikyu. Just get that out of the way. Yeah, no, I think Meltan is interesting. I'm gonna wait till we get more information on it.
Yeah, we can't say
anymore.
Anymore.
There's something that just doesn't sit right with me with the way that they marketed this, and I don't know what it is.
It's really, because we didn't know, so we can't find it as cute, because we were like, is this a mistake?
Yeah, they gave us no information.
So, like,
it's
the
hard
input
to get excited
in our,
about.
the
It's hard
first
to
thing
get
in our mind
excited about
is,
something that you know nothing about.
Oh, this is a mistake. Not, oh, look at this. We found a new Pokemon. Hooray!
Well, I think what they were trying to do is like capture the spirit of what finding a new Pokemon, if we lived in the Pokemon world, would be. All of us just very confusedly running around trying to figure out what the heck this thing is.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. It's still just so weird.
It just was a weird way. It was a weird way to go about doing it, and it really doesn't sit right with me. But I can't really articulate why that's the case.
It's because it just made it seem like a mistake. So our first thought was, oh, someone messed up.
Well, yeah, like I tweeted like 5 minutes after I figured out what was happening. I'm like, ooh, somebody at Niantic's getting fired. You know, and that, yeah, I don't know. And then I feel bad about doing that now because now I know that it was executed.
Well, someone should still get fired by having such a weird animation difference between Willow and Oak.
That
What
video
the
was
heck?
weird,
It looks
man.
like they're from two different universes.
Well, like they released this video this morning as we're recording this, where Willow and Oak are talking about Meltan, and Oak looks like how Oak is going to look in Let's Go, but Willow looks like how Willow looks in Pokemon Go, and those
Which
are
is
two very
super-
different animation styles.
And it's very well animated for Willow. And then Oak looks like his brother on the anime with the correct skin tone and just so
Oh, his
cartoony.
cousin? His
Yes.
cousin Samson?
He looks like he did in Sun and Moon. He really
still laugh
does.
at the concept of Samson Oak. It's just Professor Oak, but tan and has long hair and makes bad puns. That really should be your favorite Pokemon character.
Oh, it is.
Gosh.
It's only weirding me out that he like somehow changes his face into whatever the Pokemon
well,
he's
Pikachu
referencing.
does that all the time.
Yes, but Pikachu is awesome, and they were able to slowly put that in with Pokemon contests, where as you Oak is professional until he starts talking poems, and then you're just kind of
You gotta admit,
goofy.
you gotta admire a man with passion.
True, but then it's also okay. Well, that's also Japanese culture. Let's just leave that to that. I'm like, okay, that
but
makes
Samson
sense.
Oak is just like,
And then Samson Oak is just so like,
you're gonna see Eevee, and then makes his face like an Eevee, and he even did it when he was officiating Bernard
come on,
and
everyone,
Kukui's
we are
wedding.
seeking the something. I don't know, and he just looks like a seeking, and it looks freaking
Well, I
weird.
found it funny that they did that in Burnett and Kukui's wedding. Where if I was Burnett, I'd be like,
Stop
tone
it.
it back about 7 notches, please
Stop it.
and thank you.
My wife would have slapped him.
Oh, I would have too, probably. Man, what's our time at? Where we
We're
at?
at 42.
42. I feel like that's probably a good place to call it for the day. Meltan is cool. I'm gonna be to kind of summarize it. I'm gonna wait and see till we get
We're
more
waiting to
information.
see if we can get some more information.
And if
by
they
the
don't
time
give us
this
any
is
more
out-
information until Let's Go comes out, that's fine.
Yeah, there might be more information by the time that this episode comes out. I mean, I doubt it because it's only a week difference, but you'll know.
Some cool things coming on the pipeline include in a few weeks, probably 3 or 4 weeks, depending on how long it takes you to get through Omega Ruby. We're going to be doing a Generation 3 retrospective, so if you have any particularly fond memories of Generation 3, stories, anecdotes, anything like that, feel free to tweet us at Safari Zone Pod. And yeah, just tell us your Generation 3 stories. I want to hear all about them.
Except for the Feebass stories. I
have some Feebass stories.
It just takes so long. And
Also-
it's all the same story.
Also, I want everyone to send us a picture of their Deoxyses.
Deoxy.
Because I'm mad at the Gen 1ers getting mad that Deoxys is now a raid boss instead of Mewtwo.
He's been a raid boss. He was a raid boss for like the last week, and he was the EX raid boss twice now. He was the big thing. They were even able to
Yes,
correctly
but-
do it so it seemed like the first movie.
Well, yes,
they did it amazingly well.
Yes, I understand this, but people were pissed because it wasn't Mewtwo. Because people don't understand that, Pokemon exists after the first 151, and that Deoxys was the Mewtwo of Gen 3.
Yeah.
Deoxys was the coolest thing in the world.
It was the coolest thing
Fellow
in the world.
Gen 3 kid. Fellow kid who played Gen 3.
I love Deoxys!
Right? Deoxys was the coolest thing in the world.
Not to mention how they were able to supplement it into the game was genius.
Yeah, and it's you can actually catch yourself a Deoxys in
Pokemon Go.
No, in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, so get excited for that.
Yes.
I just
there
lent
are
him my
some-
copy of Omega Ruby.
If no one caught on to that. I do remember that they did let everyone know in Pokemon Go that Deoxys is it's going to be the new EX raid. Look at the website for the dates as to when it will happen, and to also look at what gyms around you will host the EX raids.
Yes. Also, briefly before we go, I want to give a little... Chikorita deserves an apology, you guys. Poor Chikorita, always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Because even the day that was advertised to be all about Chikorita it was about stupid Meltan. And Chikorita, my favorite starter, is continually thrown under the bus, and I'm upset.
It was after the Chikorita thing that it happened.
But nobody was talking about Chikorita. Everyone was talking about stupid Meltan, so...
No one was talking about the Squirtles either the first time.
Everybody was talking about those Squirtles
That's because
they
it had sunglasses. And everyone was like really hoping it was going to be the original sunglasses, and it wasn't. It was stupid aviator
Aviators.
glasses,
Yeah, at
which
least-
was the dumbest move you could have done. Give me the V sunglasses. Sorry, I'm very.
So we've both had a little rant about our problems with community days.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I just feel bad for Chikorita. Always a bridesmaid. Never a bride. Poor Chikorita. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. If you want to find more of us, though I don't know why you would, you can follow us on Twitter at Safari Zone Pod. Make sure to subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube to get updates of whenever we post new episodes of the show. New episodes go out typically every Thursday. And like we said at the beginning of the show with the little intro, we are members of the But Why Though podcast community. So you can go to butwhythoughpodcast.com to find us and the rest of the great shows that are a part of this community. Just go over to the podcast tab, click on it, and then you'll see the Safari Zone along with the other great shows in the community.
And if you're asking, but why though? Because they're dumb.
I hate you. But Why There's a great website. I've written for them since January of this year, and they've been very gracious in hosting the podcast and helping us out. And yeah, no, go check them out for sure. They also have a wonderful podcast. The main show, But Why Though, is they ask a question every week. They take something from pop culture and ask and talk about why it's important. You know, why it's something that should be appreciated. Yeah. So I think that's it. Do you have anything to talk about?
No, they don't have any other community days announced yet. The only thing they've announced is Deoxys. Nothing new on Pokemon to my recollection. Stupid moves. Did you guys talk about this last week?
We talked about this last week, so we'll get around to it when all three of us are around here next time, or when actually we play Let's Go. So, I think that's it.
Yep.
So, Pokemon trainers,
Sorry, breeders,
contest coordinators,
and everything in between.
Thank you guys so much for watching / listening. Have a great day
and go catch them all. We didn't practice this.